So if you've ever done any goal setting in your time, this is very important to you, and it's hugely important with your future goal setting, okay? Now, a lot of people, when they first doing and make goals, normally make them a bit fluffy. And I'll give you an example. I'll go to a client and they'll say, Bruce, we want to increase our profits and cash flow. And I say, wow, what a great goal. Tell me some more specifics on that. What does that goal look like? And they'll say, look, if we could make, an extra, I don't know, if we could just, a bit more money, it'd be good. Could you help us do that? And I basically say to them every time, no, I can't help you. And the reason is it's not a smart goal. Okay, so when we do goal, and it doesn't matter whether we're talking your business and financially, it could be your health, it could be your relationships, doesn't matter. We've got to put some smart to it. And SMART, as you can see here, is an acronym. And it basically stands for, the S is for specific, measurable, needs to be achievable, realistic with a time frame. And I'm going to tell you all of these and just go down deep on these. So specific needs to be, hey Bruce, I'd like to make an extra 250,000 of net profit. That is a specific goal, and it's also measurable. We can measure that at the end of that time frame, whatever the time frame, let's call it 1 year, that fills in that one. That's one of your goals. So it's a very specific, yes, we can measure it, yes, there's a time frame on it. I want to also put these two here, and a lot of people get confused on what achievable and realistic is. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I want to tell it in a story. So there was a guy called Kieran Perkins. He's one of the best swimmers to ever come out of Australia, and matter of fact, I went to school with him. He was a few years older than me, but nonetheless, and Kieran was a pretty good swimmer, I might add, back in the pool there when we were at high school, but nonetheless, he used to lap people by about 20 lengths on anything over about 200 metres. But nonetheless, Kieran in the early 90s was doing the 1500 metre race in swimming. And for the people that don't know, it's the longest type of race that are in the Olympics, etc. And at the time, no one had ever gone sub 15 minutes for the 1500 freestyle. No one had ever done it in the history of mankind, or at least in a timed event. And they might have done it back in the Stone Age days, but we don't have record of it. But nonetheless, in the modern era, no one had ever gone sub 15. So the realistic part of that was 15 minutes is the barrier, okay? So that's kind of more of an external, no one had gone sub that point. So that is what it was realistic at that time. Achievable, however, was what was in Kieran's head. Kieran basically said, you know what? I know the realistic of what's in front of me. No one's ever gone sub 15 minutes. However, my own grey matter says that it's achievable for me to go sub 15 minutes. And lo and behold, he went and did it, and he knocked 42 seconds off the world record. I think it was at the Barcelona Olympics in 1992. And smashed that world record. So he then the realistic point was sub 15. Okay, so in terms of when you do this, a lot of people will say, well, Bruce, I don't know what's realistic. Okay, and I'll say, well, realistic is that I'm sure in your industry right now that someone in the world in a similar market to you has probably put 2,000% increase on their business. That's realistically probably what's happened or you could say, in Queensland, if that was your state, or you're in Colorado, if you're in America, there'll be someone in your industry type that has put on a substantial, bigger goal, and that's kind of where the bar is set. And then achievable, it's whether you think you've got the identity iceberg and the skills and the commitment to achieve that. Okay, so that's the difference on those two there. So you need to have your goals in a SMART state. They need to be specific and measurable. We've got to measure them. The achievables, what's in your head. Realistic is what's been done before. Doesn't mean it's going to necessarily be the benchmark going forward. That's what's been done before. And we've got a time frame that we can measure whether you did it or you didn't do it. Okay, so in terms of any goals that you ever write for me, you need to come to me with a specific, measurable, achievable results with a time frame. That's what I'm going to ask you ever. So don't come with fluffy, because fluffy won't get you anywhere. SMART is where it is. I look forward to seeing some SMART goals from you and helping you get to there. So go get them with SMART.